gonna start explaining. So obviously to pick a nation, you just left click and you select a nation, and then you can pick one. But what I'm gonna do is select my unit. So I'm gonna hold down the left click button and I'm gonna right click a province. So you just right click a province and they will all go to that province and it will be in that province. So now I'll show you how to group them up and merge them. You know, it's not that hard when you try to understand it right now. So all I'm gonna do is left click and select. I'm gonna press the merge button and I'm gonna be merging all of the units. Now the merge setting for the units is in the bottom left. You'll see it there and you'll be able to do stuff there. Now I'll select my units by left clicking obviously, and I can move around by right clicking a province and just moving around like that. Very simple, very easy. So here's this. You got my development, we got my cores right here. So my cores are, if I take a province that's not, like say I take Italy's province and I don't have a core on it, I will take resistance. My development's there with the little yellow sign right there, population's there as well. And the green one is the recruitment numbers and the people that you can recruit. I'll explain also factories. So factories, when I click on it, I pull it up. And the factories, civilian factories help produce and construct buildings. Development with the hammer starts producing development. With your provinces, you just left click to make them, and it makes them way better. It makes them be able to move units faster, be able to produce stuff faster. When you click on the province, you can see it from the bottom right. And military factories help produce equipment and guns. So political power. Political power is the 500 right here. So political power means you can basically do a lot of decisions. I can change my laws, I can change my the economy. I can do stuff for, you know, political means, like make my country more leaning towards communism or whatever ideology you want. The next one, manpower, or not manpower, the total amount of population you have in your country is the 9 million people. And Yugoslavia, 9 million people. So it counts all people, but there's like a certain divided amount that could be manpower. You go to stability. Stability very much matters for how to keep your country together. So you want to balance it by constructive stuff, staying at peace, by doing right stuff that your population would like. You know, basically like building development, building civilian factories, so that actually helps your stability. And compliance growth. Getting compliance for your province is very important for your stability. Resistance growth. There's also resistance growth when you look at it, and there's like a good, there's no resistance right here, but I would take a province, say like, if I take Albania, there'll be a lot of resistance. But we'll look at a, we click at terrain toggle, doesn't do anything. It says toggles the terrain out of the way, and then outline toggle does the same thing, it shows the outlines. And look at laws. Now this thing more a little complicated, but look over here. Trade, my limit export laws here, you know, we'll look up here. This is 0%, so I'm exporting 0 amount if I pick close economy. 25% here, it's way better. My factory output goes up, so it's better, but I'm exporting a lot of resources. Same thing here. The more, if you go on free trade, the more resources you're exporting to other countries that are open for people to buy. So it's also a risk, but you can also get more factory development. Now you get one conscription like this. So if I'm a volunteer only, I get 2% conscription, 2% of my population is able to be recruited, but my factory output goes down, my stability goes down as well. So I get ticks from picking this. My conscription goes up, but I lose more factory. So you gotta be very careful about this, but only if you're desperate. Like if I'm very desperate to win a war, then make a conscription, get 5% of your population as recruitables, you know, make your army. Economy. Civilian economy, you're producing 30% consumer goods, which raises your stability, so very good. Your stability is obviously going up, but the more you go down, more mobilization, you ready your economy for war, so you produce less consumer goods. You know, there's not really benefits in this right now, but I wouldn't really go higher. I would just stay on the early mob or consumer. That's really good on one. Let me look at resources. The only resource you have right now is steel. I have 5 steel. I'm probably producing 1. If you look at resources, like I'm looking at, and I'm producing 1 in 15 at Serbia. No, it's maybe 1. I don't know exact numbers, but you can see that, and this is how you trade. So I can't trade tungsten. You can only trade steel. All right. So I want to trade somebody. I want to trade this is all those resources you have right here. I want to trade the Soviet Union. Okay. So I'm gonna press 2. I'm gonna try to do 2. I want to do 1, but it's gonna charge them. No, it's gonna charge me a civilian factory to buy one of their steel. Now I'll start importing it with my factory. So there we go, use my factory for anything they want to buy. So Soviet Union wants to buy anything with that, they can do it. This also matters as well. My military factories are producing infantry equipment 1, right? So I'm producing, thermal factories are doing that. They're producing 25 every whatever time it is. Okay, but I can ramp this up if I have more factories, but I only have 3. So I maxed out at 3. So once I build more factories, it does that. And this is my infinite equipment, 38,000 equipment. So it's very, you know, to be detailed. And I can just press, when I go to the province, I just press the manpower button where it says recruit, and you can transfer units like this as well. To transfer provinces, you just say British. This is stuff for British. You also can press tab to see like a country's tags to be able to see something to them. Again, you just, you know, very simple kind of mechanics, but it's a little complicated. especially the recruiting system. Now, for formables, if your country has a formable, then you get all the provinces you need, and then you be able to form a country and do that way. To release a country, you need to also look at the tag. So press tab, look at the country. You can also look on the province. You can also look at the province right here, and MNT. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type MNT to release Montenegro, but I'm not gonna do that right now. Obviously, I can't do that right now, but that's to release a country. It's very simple, very easy, but this is the complicated part. So this is all my factories. So I have 5 factories and I have 3 are military, I think 2 are civilian. So 1 is producing consumer goods, none from trade. I have none that are ready to be used, okay? So all of them are production, all of them using something. So I'm gonna look at, this is very complicated to understand, but military factories. So I'm producing 1. It's gonna take 117, 116 seconds now, but it's being supported by, I think, 4 factories, what it says, but it's gonna be done soon, okay? But it takes time. Also, when you're building stuff, it takes popularity as well. This is your political parties. The more propaganda you spread, the more stuff you're going to get closer to your ideology for popularity. You be aware that these units are small. So when you look at the amounts of every single popularity, you be very aware that there's a cost to it. There's like 30% political power cost. And also switching an ideology with a popularity lower than 75%. So if I wanted to switch to democracy, and I'm 71%, I will have a civil war. So I need to be very aware of that. Also, it's a very aware detail you have to be aware of when, you know, trying to switch your ideology or anything. So be very aware of that. Be vigilant about that. Then to explain the troop system a little more, the blue part on my troop is the organization that it has. So it's way better like that. It's way better to be a unit that lasts longer in combat. And then when there is yellow, this is always like the new research, but when there's yellow on the unit, that means it has training. So training takes a little bit, and, you know, it works a little bit. There is a lot of, and I can declare war just by, you know, pulling up a tab and then clicking on the flag. So we want to pull up press a province. You want to just click the flag, and you can be able to pull up an option what you do with the country. You can look in the left menu at the bottom. You can press halt unit. You can press auto capture to attack units, split your army in half, disband for your whole army. And the yellow button that has train on it, it trains your units. As long as you have equipment that is in your production. So if I have 50,000 equipment that is in reserve or hasn't been used at all, I press the train and I can be able to do it. Now, negotiate peace with Bulgaria, I just press my peace button, negotiate peace, and my peace is, and the player can accept it or they don't accept it. If you want to send equipment, I can send them right there. If I want to do other ones, that's what I release keep land. It's like annex all the land I took. My peace, obviously, my peace, and force our ideologies. Obviously, I force authoritarianism on that person or whatever ideology you are. Same thing for any other country. It's the same thing. But you can join and create coalitions as long as you're a player. To join a coalition, you need to join the leaders coalition. So you need to click on the leader's flag or province, then request join to them, and that's the only way I think that you can make in their province. So it's the only way to actually get in the province without sending it to somebody else. Now, sometimes this happens where your units get stuck, but I'm producing nothing right now. So I use up all my guns. I want to train him, but now he's not training. So you see there's no blue on his name. It's just, you know, nothing except for the green. The green is the health. So what I'm doing right now, I have no equipment for him. Once I get, say if I get like 50,000 equipment, obviously, then I could train him. And then he'll get, you know, more training. That means he'll last longer in combat. It means he has more experience in combat. So if I engage, say, Romania, I can destroy a lot of his units because my units have more training and experience in combat than his units do. I'm going to show the skins. So you can buy skins from the Game Pass store if you really want to. I have the default one. I didn't buy any, but if you really want to. Also read the rules. These are very important, you know. Just don't be an idiot, basically, what the rules basically say, and then think about your actions. Also, to end war, obviously negotiate peace. You can click the little flag at the bottom. When you look at the bottom, there's a little explosion-like icon at the bottom next to the development equipment that has the hammer on it. It is the one that you end wars with. Very simple, very easy. The one with the map on it next to the research thing with the things used for science. That shows you a bunch of the stuff that you can do and a bunch of the factions, a bunch of the resources, a bunch of labels, ideologies, all that good stuff. Then obviously the one next to the map is the one where you'll see research at. To see easier way, I spammed out a bunch of civilian factories. So it shows infinite, which maybe means that once the military factory is done being produced in 34 seconds, they will start working on civilian factories. And then I'll have more of those, and I'll produce even more. I'll produce more other civilian factories, and so on, so on, so on. And you can also see Romania. For another example, Romania has some of these troops that have maybe 50% experience, training. And some have a full amount of organization, which is a blue. And now these units are very strong, so you need to be very careful about it. But if you look at Hungary, some of these units don't have enough organization on it. Some have very low organization. Those are the weak ones. That's what you need to go after, and that's what you need to take advantage of. Don't attack, you know, Romania if he has giant organization. That means he's going down entrenchment research. Now, if you go down, say in terms of research in the research manual, be very careful of your enemy if they go straight down attack. You know, if they train their armies to full max XP, they will probably break your units. You should be very aware of that as well. So think about your battles as well. So if somebody's like Romania, you attack me with 100,000 stack of freaking, you know, a giant army with a bunch of experience, no organization, retreat until his units have no organization. They can catch him, you know, catch him slipping, you know, catch him off guard, or catch him in the sea, or, you know, because if you put units on the sea and somebody engages you, that's a very bad battle. I've had it happen before in the Baltics where I lost a lot of stuff because of a stupid mistake, because I was very stupid because I did that. But I hope you guys did enjoy, and if you guys have any questions I didn't answer or anything else, tell me, please tell me. And for the combat mechanics, you'll understand them a little later, but no, one thing that really does matter is your allies, making allies, and resistance. Dealing with resistance and compliance. Say if I have like a 50,000 army and I put it on a province to stop resistance, I should get it down to from like 25% to 0%, and then pull it off to another province. Then once that resistance goes up, I should go back and stop that resistance, bring it back down to 0, then go back to another province and wait till, you know, your compliance is fully to 100%. Then that province doesn't have a core, but is friendly towards you and it will not build resistance. So, you know, so you want compliance in your provinces. It's very good. Hope you guys did enjoy, though. And here's the outro. Any questions, leave them in the comments. Anything I missed, whatever it is, leave them in the comments. Love you guys. Have an epic day, and see ya.